Yeah, hi, good morning guys. I just wanted to do a quick, I hope everybody's well. I just wanted to do a quick short video this morning. I just had a really nice call with a client in Belgium, and he asked me a really good question. And the question was, Mike, what are the most important things that I should be looking at as a first-time buyer in the US? And in order, what should I be looking for? Is it the location, or is it the price that I should be looking for? So in your opinion, with experience, and because there has to be an element of trust involved, what are the things in your opinion that I should be looking for? So I thought it was a great question, and I'd like to cover this morning. So in my opinion, I'd probably say there's about 5 or 6 different things as a first-time investor that you should look for. For me, the number one thing is the location, without a doubt. I think just in terms of your vacancy rate, which is of course a risk, if you buy a property in a great location, then your vacancy rate should be low, because if the tenant leaves, then it's going to be easy for the management company to replace the tenant. So I think the number one thing is the neighbourhood that you're buying in, and where it's located, what's going on in that neighbourhood, which I'll come to in a second. Second thing would be the condition of the property. So I think, and that's where our inspections come in, the survey that we do, where we check the main fundamental items in the house. But I think the condition needs to be good. What you don't want to be doing is spending a lot of money on a property in years to come, unless that property is in an incredible location. I listened to a podcast once where the guy said to me, or he said on the podcast, you should buy the worst house in the best location, which kind of makes sense. So, but I think in general terms, I think the condition of the property is really important, because that's another thing that can, it's a risk, and maintenance can eat into any potential return that you might get. So that would be number 2. Number 3, of course, the price and the return, very important. But I think a lot of investors make the mistake of making that number 1, and the first thing they look at is the price and the return, which I don't think you should. I think it's trying to find a balance between all 3. The location, the condition, and the price. So I think that comes down my list, and that the property with the highest return is not always the property with the best investment, or it's not always the best investment for you. So I think it is trying to find that balance. So price and return is obviously important. Make sure you're not paying over the market value. With the majority of the properties that we sell as a company, we sell under market value, so we negotiate hard with the sellers when it comes to the pricing, and we're aggressive with our pricing already. So that would be number 3. Number 4 would be the potential growth, which is obviously part of the investment, because your growth is going to add to your return. So if you get, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6% return, or 5 or 6% growth per annum, that's adding to your investment as well, and adding to your return. So I think you need to look at, what's going on in the area. In the likes of Cleveland, you've got Buckeye Shaker, Glenville, South Collingwood, North Collingwood, Euclid, all of these areas where the city is spending money. So prices are going to go up as the money gets spent in the area, and it's not about buying in the most established neighborhoods, because if you buy in the most established neighborhood, you're paying top dollar because the money's already been spent. So it's about finding those pockets where the city are spending money, and you're going to see growth over the coming years. Number 5, in my opinion, well, it would be up there with 1 or 2 really, would be management. I think management companies are vital to these types of investments working, without a doubt. And I think, you know, you can buy a great house in a great location, but if it's managed badly, it can still turn into a bad investment. So I think the management company that you choose is really important. So that's another one. I think the company that you buy the property from, hopefully it's us. But I think that's important as well. I think you need to have trust. You need to have trust in our knowledge of the markets, because that's why you pay us a fee. So do your due diligence on us as a company. Look, I mean, we've been in business since 2013. We've sold 6,000 properties in the US. So we've got a very good track record. But I think before you buy a property, you have to be happy and comfortable and build a relationship with the company that you're buying the property from. So I think that's important. And lastly, which I think a lot of people forget, is look at the costs of running the property. So for example, your property tax and your insurance, and make sure that you can afford to run the house if it's ever vacant. You should never buy a property where, because properties can become vacant, and you know, they might be vacant for a few months, 6 months. You don't know. You don't know what the market's going to do. So I think you should always be able to afford to run the investment in that worst case scenario. So just make sure you can do that as well. So that was what I said to the client this morning. That's my advice. If you want to tick off boxes on what are the things to be looking for before you actually sit down and start choosing a house. So again, number 1, location. Number 2, condition. Number 3, your price and return, potential growth, what's going on in that specific area. Number 5, management, vital. Number 6, the company that you buy from. And number 7, make sure that you can afford to run the house if it was ever vacant. So I hope that helps. Again, we're short on inventory in Cleveland. We've got some good properties in Detroit this week, and you can check all of our latest inventory on the website above. And I hope you guys have a great day.